Alright, welcome back to Slay the Spire. We're going to go back into this Overexplain run. Let's see what we got here. I believe we've already done this, so we're going to take the runic cube. We've already done that, so let's continue on to Act 2. Looks like we're fighting the Collector. Okay, so now the first thing to do is try to figure out what path we want to take. So in selecting a path, if you're trying to kill a heart, you want to go ahead and take on this super elite. This flame means they're a special elite. It's a little stronger. You start with a buff of some kind. But we don't have an extra energy. We probably don't want to fight too many elites, if any. So we're going to look for a path that doesn't have a whole lot of elites. I think we're going to go ahead and just take this first path and try to avoid some of the hallway fights if we can, and then we'll get the upgrades to upgrade what we got. Okay, so alright, great. So this is a pretty easy go here. What do you think you would do in this case?
What do these guys do?
What do these guys do? Well, right now, these guys are going to increase their strength, but the main thing they have is they have flight. So flight makes them receive 50% less damage, and it's canceled if they're attacked 3 times in the round. We've got Whirlwind in hand, so we can attack everything 5 times in the round right now. In fact, if we just leave one guy, or as long as we have 1 energy, we can probably, if not kill everything, we can at least drop it down. Or if we don't want to, we can just hit everything for 2, even if we can't play it for 0, since we have the Chemical X.
So, okay.
The thing to think about, what we've got in our hand, is we've got a feed. We kind of want to play this feed because it's going to increase our maximum health for the rest of the game. So we have to weigh, like, we could just wipe everybody out if we wanted to. We could just play, like, this for, I don't know if it'd wipe everyone out, but it's definitely going to drop everyone down. We could play the Inflame and then play Whirlwind and do, like, thing is once they lose flight, if you attack them 3 times, they lose flight, so they fall to the ground, and so they do not have that 50% less attack damage. Also, they won't do anything next round; they'll be stunned.
Okay. And the feed card does what?
It does 10 damage. And then, if it kills an enemy, a non-minion enemy, you raise your max hit points by 3. And then it's exhausting.
And we want to play that one?
We absolutely want to try to play this one every fight that we can. And
okay. So, let's do that one.
Well,
does that make sense or no?
It doesn't, because we're going to have to reshuffle our deck in order to play this card. We need to be able to try to eliminate like 2 or 3 of these enemies and leave 1 to feed on, if we can.
Okay. So, Whirlwind?
Okay, if we roll in right now, we're going to do 40 points of damage. But not really, because the first 3 are going to be halved. So the first 3 are just going to do 4, so we're going to do 12 to everything. And then then we're going to do 16 more. I think that'll be 28. So that's just going to kill 1 of the creatures, but it's going to stun everything. So I think we could do that. I think that won't kill everyone, if my calculations are correct.
So if you were just playing and not giving me a choice, what would you do?
What I would do, I mean, might whirlwind. I might just inflame and then barrier as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and just try to whirlwind and see if our numbers are right. If we mess up, well, it's okay. They all right. So now we can just feed on them pretty easily. But we're gonna have to go through a couple. So we just need one. So we're going to block one of these guys. The rest we don't really care about. We can just uppercut this guy here. And then we've got enough block to block these two. No big deal. Now they're going to get back up. So what we'll do here is just deal damage to both of them to make them weak. So that any card we draw can kill one of them. Okay. So here we'll just cast Flame Barrier. And then this guy is going to kill himself on us. Because every time he attacks us, he's going to attack us 5 times at once. So he's going to do a whole bunch of damage to himself. Just let that go. Poof. Now we have the feed. Now we can go ahead and just feed on the bird. And that's it. Cool. Okay, gold. Now, alright. We can look at our cards and see what you think would be, just to give you a reminder, because it's been a while since we played this, so we can kind of review what we have. We have 4 strikes, 2 upgraded defense, 2 upgraded defense, Bash plus, Flex, Whirlwind plus, Uppercut, Inflame, Flame Barrier, Bloodletting, and Feed. So to kind of help your choice here, we probably don't want this Flex. It's unupgraded. It's a common card. We don't want this Clash. This card is a trap option. It can be played. Every card has its place, but this card is pretty hard to utilize. So I do not recommend these two. So that would just leave Flame Barrier unupgraded and an Uppercut plus.
Okay, so on Flame Barrier, when you attack this turn, deal 4 damage back.
Yeah.
Like, just automatically when they attack you?
Yeah, whenever they attack you, they're going to take 4 damage. So even, no matter how much damage they attack you for, they take 4. So like when the bird attacked 5 times for 1, it would do 4 damage each time they attacked.
I like that one.
You like Flame Barrier?
Yeah.
I agree. I think we've got enough damage for now. Uppercut plus would still be pretty good too. Alright, so pay 75 and remove a card from our deck? Sure. An old beggar choked in fur reaches his hands out toward you. Spare some coin, child. So, beggar takes off his cloak, reveals that he's a cleric. Receive my purification. Continue. So, when looking at what you're going to remove from your deck, most of the time, you just want to take a strike. There are a few times where you don't want to take a strike, but really the strike is probably the go-to choice here. So we're going to do that. We're going to just go ahead and get rid of a strike. And then we could go to the store, or we could fight a hallway fight. We only have 112. so the store won't be that useful. We'll go ahead and go to the store anyway. Yes. Alright, so we can get another Inflame. Let's look at our options. So we have armaments. Our good choices, we got armaments, we got Inflame. Purity we probably won't need to use. We don't have a lot of things that... we're not fighting a boss that will junk up our deck. And we don't have anything that junks up our own deck. Like we don't add wounds or anything. So probably we're either looking at this Inflame here because it's on sale, or we're looking at removing another card. Like we could just remove another strike and be done.
How many cards can you hold?
You can have as many cards as you want.
Oh.
It just is a bad idea to get too many cards because you'll have a bloated deck that won't function well. And due to just the nature of a card game, whenever you have such a large pool of cards, it starts becoming likely that you're just going to draw into things you don't need. Anything reaching out to you here?
Maybe...
Another option, if you don't like anything, is just to pass and save money for a later shop. That would also be, you know, a possibility.
I mean, we can pass or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe armaments and then just Inflame just because we can afford it.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean, I think that would have been a good option. I think just burning a strike also would be a good option. Either one of those would be good. Let's go ahead and go to this event. So now we can either remove a card or we can upgrade all strikes and defends. We still have 3 strikes and 2 defends that need to be upgraded. That's okay. And burning a strike is also okay. What would you do if not knowing as much about the game?
I'd probably upgrade.
I think I would too, even knowing, because had we gotten rid of a strike before in the shop, I would have probably gone ahead and just removed another strike. But yeah, in this case, we'll just do that. Upgrading 5 cards sounds great. Alright. Let's fight the Shelled Parasite. Barrier, which can block this damage. So what he has is he has a plated armor. We can also get plated armor, but plated armor will give you until the end of the turn 14 block. So when we have our flame barrier up, when he attacks us, he will still damage himself because his barrier will go down. His armor will go down when he attacks us. He'll have no armor, and then when he attacks us, he'll take damage. He's also right now, what this symbol means is if this damages us, if this attack damages us in any way, he heals the amount of damage he does. Also, plated armor, whenever we deal damage to him, it reduces whenever he receives an attack damage, I should say. So not just from our flame barrier. he would need to receive damage from us to lower his plated armor by 1. So thankfully we've got plenty of block here.
Okay, so the defend cards are just block, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
These defend cards just give you a block. So we could, like, full block with 2 of them. But we also have Flame Barrier. We just dropped 1 of those and block all of that.
So is that what we should do? Is just Flame Barrier?
I think so. Just Flame Barrier and go ahead and play one of our Inflames to get ready for next round. See, that did 4 to him. Now we have 14 incoming damage. We don't have anything in hand to upgrade. It's fixing to debuff us. Give us a negative effect. We have 2 block cards in hand. We can block 13 of the incoming damage. We got Whirlwind in hand. And we got 2 strikes. Since he's just a single target, we can use the strikes to do a little more damage than our Whirlwind would do.
Okay.
So really our options are, how much do we want to defend? Do we want to defend for a full 13, or do we want to just try to do more damage?
We're still full on our...
We're still full. At the end of the round, we will heal 6. But he's fixing to debuff us, which will lower it'll make us frail. So it'll lower the defense of our block cards. And we're going to draw 5 of these cards. So we're not going to have a lot of defense. We'll have a Flame Barrier and that's it. If we use Bloodletting, we'll get a draw of the feed. We could use a potion if we wanted to reduce the damage he does. We could use a weak potion. Since he still has quite a bit of life, and the fight's going to continue for some time. And we want to try to feed on him if we can, if possible. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just use that. Now we can full block, because we made him weak.
So to full block, you would do a defend and armament?
No, armament, making it 13. Then I would, at this point it's kind of self-explanatory, I would just use the strike, because it does more damage than the Whirlwind. 3. And then we get this for free because of our Chemical X. There we go. Now I'll hit us, debuff us. Now he's still weak, so he's doing less. So, we did not draw the card we wanted to draw. But, we can just draw it. What would you do here?
What did we want to draw?
We want to draw this Flame Barrier.
Oh.
Because that can block this attack. And he's attacking us twice. This frail means we're going to gain 25% less block. So I believe that's going to do 8. So that flame barrier will still full block for us.
What do each of these do? I can't remember.
So strike does 11 damage. Feed does 12 damage, and if we kill them, we raise our max hit points. We lose 3 hit points, but we gain an energy. This just gives us 2 strength for the rest of the fight, like what we got already. And bash does 12 damage, but adds 3 vulnerable. So what's your thought process here? What are you thinking about?
Well, I don't know. So is it more important to defend right now or to try to attack him?
In general, it's almost, in a hallway fight especially, it's almost always better to concentrate on defense first and attack second. The only time that you don't want to do that is if an enemy is increasing their strength and power to a point that will be unobtainable. And then at that point, you want to go ahead and just try to deal as much damage as you can get away with. In this case, this particular enemy doesn't scale. He doesn't improve over time. So he's always staying at the same power level.
Was it... Which was it? I think it was feed, wasn't it, that does the damage and a weakness and... No.
Feed doesn't do weakness. No. We don't have anything in our deck that does weakness. We've got... Bash does vulnerable.
Oh, vulnerable.
Which makes him take more damage. For 3 rounds.
How about that one? Should we play that one?
It might be okay to play this one. But first, I would go ahead and play... The way I'd play this, I would go ahead and play Bloodletting first. And get this Flame Barrier. Then go ahead and play the Flame Barrier. Then we can go ahead and bash. That's fine. This is probably a decent move here. That's fine. Just do it like that. Then we can 8 to himself. And we have 8 coming in. And then we happen to draw feed again, which we didn't really want. So our options are kind of limited here. But I'll still ask you, what do you think that how you play this from your perspective, since you're a new player?
Okay, show me what the cards say again. I can't remember. 2 strength.
2 strength for the rest of the combat. It's a power, so you play it and it's like this. Feed again. Uppercut, which does 15 damage plus a weak plus a vulnerable. Defend, which will give us a 6 block, and then we can just play our flex. Since our flex is 0, we'll just go ahead and play that. It's kind of a no-brainer there. So we have 2 extra strength for the rest of this turn. So now we're down to really whether we want to play... We don't want to play feed, right?
Right.
If at all possible, that's the last thing we want to play to finish him off. We have defend and we have uppercut. Now, before I did misspeak because I said we had nothing that can make them weak, but there is something that this can make them weak.
So should we do uppercut?
I think so. And then I would probably just block. Instead of inflame, we could inflame. When we block for 6, it will take 1 damage, but that 1 damage will let us draw another card. And it did heal him 1. Okay, now we are no longer... weakened. Let's see what we got coming up. We do have an armaments. Another flame barrier. We wouldn't want to draw that. Anyway, the flame barrier will prevent most of the damage here.
Okay, so I guess play the flame barrier.
Play the flame barrier, okay.
And then
I agree with that. I think it's unfortunate because it's possible we can draw this armaments with everything that's upgraded. It's possible our next hand can be armaments, defend, bash, and whirlwind. And we have nothing to use the armaments on. Also, if we play bloodletting now, we could also just get we could also draw into another card. We could draw an armaments, for instance. Might be good to go ahead, that way we can try to get toward the feed. But there's a good chance next we may want to whittle him down just a little bit more before we drop the feed.
okay. So should we just play the strikes?
Play 1 strike. Then we have an option to play bloodletting and play a 2nd strike.
Okay.
Or play the defend to block less any damage. I think we should go ahead and play the bloodletting.
Sure.
Alright, let's do it. And we got the whirlwind. Okay. We don't really want to play the whirlwind. That would kill him outright. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to weaken him down, so let's just play another strike. Now we got him down to the point where he will now can we draw a feed? No?
Nope.
Well, that's fine. We'll just play some, let's see, we just need to block 12. We don't want to play this flame barrier because we're not trying to kill him. So we could do like defend, play armaments, which will upgrade our flame barrier, doesn't matter, and he'll just attack us. Let's see if we can get a feed.
Nope.
No feed. Play a strike, it's going to do... well, we could... that will kill him. So next round we can get feed for sure. So our question here... Is it worth it to take 6 hit points to gain 3 max hit points? I think that would be a fair way to look at it.
Okay.
Seems good? Seems like a fair trade-off?
Yeah.
This won't kill him, so we'll lower him down just 1 peg. And then we'll get the feed. And eat it. Alright. And we got our weak potion back. So, there we go. Alright. Now we got our choices. So we got blood for blood, which every time you take damage, it will lower the cost of the card. Starts at 4, but then lower down as you take damage. Thunderclap does 7 to all enemies and does a vulnerable to all enemies. Havoc lets you play the top card of your draw pile and then exhaust it. And then Rage. Whenever you play an attack this turn, you gain 3 block. And it costs 0. Havoc and Rage cost 0, Thunderclap costs 1, and it's upgraded already. And then Blood for Blood is unupgraded, but it... So with Rage, we just kind of look at our deck to see how many attacks we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 attacks out of 18 cards. So Rage is probably not a good idea.
Okay.
That's how we kind of look at that. And then Havoc. We don't have anything that synergizes with Havoc as far as... something like Feel No Pain. If we exhausted a card, we'd get 3 block. Havoc is still useful in a way when you're sneaking in powers. So if Havoc targets a power, the power still goes off and just stays with you the full game. So hitting a power with that, we do have 2 powers for 18 cards. It's not terrible at all. But we don't have a lot of synergies that work well with this Havoc Plus. The Thunderclap, 7 to each, and vulnerable to all enemies is probably more interesting because we also have a Whirlwind. Because we can vulnerable all the enemies first and then damage them a truck ton with the Whirlwind. We do already have some vulnerable with our uppercut and our bash, so we already have a way to generate that. So it's not mandatory. It's is better if we're fighting multiple enemies with the strength. This is good single. Blood for Blood is good single target damage, and it's something we can get in play even though we've got 3 energy, because we can cast Bloodletting, and that'll damage us. And then we'll draw a card, and then it'll lower the cost of that card. It's also unupgraded, so if we do draw our armaments, we can upgrade it. So really, I think the 2 choices, or the 2 things you would be looking at here, is you'd be looking at, do I want Blood for Blood, or do I want Thunderclap?
Mm-hmm.
We can kind of look at our deck and see what our deck does well. It doesn't really have a strong... It does have area of effect, but it doesn't have a lot of it. And it doesn't really have a good single target attack.
Okay.
It's got some scaling with the Inflames, and it's got some pretty good defense right now. We can look at what we're fighting. So we have a choice of upgrading a card, or we're fighting an elite. We'll probably go ahead and fight an elite because we're pretty strong on health, and we could use some more relics.
Okay.
If that factors in at all for you. And we don't really know what we're going to fight with the elite. The elite could be... It's likely that we will be fighting multiple enemies with an elite, though. We're going to be fighting either Gremlin, Knob, or we're going to fight... So that has multiple enemies, and then we'll fight Slavers, possibly. And there'll be multiples. Just to kind of give you some information that you may not have just playing the game for the first time. But not knowing any better, not knowing what you might fight, what do you think you would go for? I honestly think either one of these is fine.
kind of thinking the blood for blood.
Blood for blood? I think so too. I think either one of these will be fine. We're fighting the collector, so we'll be fighting multiple enemies, but the blood for blood will also let us deal with a single target pretty good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and try the elite here. And it's slavers. Okay. So, we got slavers coming in. They do a lot of damage, and we need to try to kill this guy in the back. And we do have armaments, so we can try to choose what we want to get. And I'm thinking with armaments, we probably either want to get the flame barrier, or we want to get the bloodletting so we get more energy out of it. We have 27 damage coming in. We got potions, so we could play a potion. We have a weak potion, and we have bronze, liquid bronze, which will give us thorns. And it might not be a bad choice. Either one of these might not be a bad choice. This is a dangerous fight that unfortunately both of these potions will be useful against another elite. Thinking we need to go ahead and use one of these potions.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and just use the weak potion on him. So we're only looking at 23 damage coming in. I don't think we should upgrade this flex, so we'll just go ahead and play the flex.
Okay,
So what we're looking at here is, do we want to play armaments? We want to play armaments. Like, we want to be sure to play armaments. The question is, what do we use our armaments on? Do we use it on bloodletting for more energy? Do we use it on uppercut to get 2 stacks of weak and vulnerable? Do we use it on our flame barrier to block more this turn and deal more damage back? Also, when we play bloodletting, we're going to get to draw a card. Which will let us play an addition. It's going to let us play 1 or 2 cards depending on if we use armaments for it. If we choose not to, we'll just play our armaments and then we'll still play 2 cards. Either way. We're going to be playing at least 2 cards this round, other than bloodletting. And we will be playing bloodletting because it just makes sense.
okay.
We want to try to get our whirlwind out and just like slaughter these guys as soon as we can. If you're not really sure, I think we should go ahead and just upgrade this bloodletting.
Okay.
See what we get, and then go from there.
Alright.
That way, you know, okay, we just got to defend. So our options now are play barrier, inflame, defend, go full offense and play bash and uppercut.
Let's do.
The bash and uppercut will not finish this guy off, or any of these guys off, but it will put him very low.
Okay.
It will put him at 22 plus 12, 30. It'll do 34 points of damage, I think. So it'll leave him at 12 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we do it the other way, I think that's we'll do 25 block, which will full block, and we'll have 2 strength for next turn. So if we happen to draw the whirlwind, then we'll be good. If we don't draw the whirlwind, we'll still have, looks like a good block coming in. And if we draw this won't kill anybody. So we can look at it 2 ways. Either we just take a truckload of damage and get this guy low and hope we draw a feed and not a whirlwind. We could also split things up. We don't have to fully block. We could just play this for 17, take 6 damage, and then bash him to damage him some. And to let you know what's going on, the reason why I'm going to kill him is this is a very bad enemy because he does 2 things. Next round, he's going to make us vulnerable, which means we take more damage. Kind of like when we vulnerable people will be vulnerable. So we're going to take more damage, and there's multiple things attacking us. Then after that, the next thing he does is nets us. So when he entangles us with his net, we can't play any attack cards. We can only play defense cards. Or powers. We can play powers like Inflame. What he does is he adds wounds to our deck. So he junks up our deck with wounds that we can't play. And then he will weaken us when he attacks. That's why usually when playing this fight, you will target this guy strongly. That's why going all out on him is not necessarily a bad idea. Often you want to play defensively, but given what he can do, there gives rise to a reason to try to kill him quickly and just take some of the damage. This will do 4 damage to each guy, though. That's something to think about. When we block with Flame Barrier, it will do 4 to everybody. So this card will be doing 12 damage. Just spread out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You could use this liquid bronze to help deal a little more damage if we wanted to. And then use our Entropic Brew to see what we get from there. I don't know how much trouble. It just really depends on what we draw. Like if we draw this whirlwind, things are going to be smooth. If we don't, it'll be a little more rough. Depending on what we play.
I really don't know what to do.
You don't really know what to do? Let's go ahead. Let's play Flame Barrier, I think. Like, I don't want to take that much damage out the gate. And I'm really torn between just fully blocking here or blocking and inflaming. I think I will go ahead and block and inflame and just hope that we get and I'm going to drink this liquid bronze and I'm going to use this to get new potions. It's a really difficult choice. Okay, so now this is a much easier choice. We could use another potion to try to draw. Let's go ahead and block a little bit. Deal some damage here. Can't. skill potion. The armaments. Yeah, just so now we got Whirlwind and Feed. And Blood for Blood. So we can Whirlwind for 50, just kill everybody. Doesn't sound bad. We could Blood for Blood and then eat somebody.
We just need to use those two.
Yeah, Blood for Blood, because Blood for Blood will do 20 to this guy. Let me see. 11, 23 won't kill him, so yeah, we'd have to Blood for Blood. And then it won't... If we do that, we're going to take more damage. This will just kill everyone. How much damage will we be taking? It's a good question. Because if we do this, we'll be left with... We'll be doing 30 to everybody. So it'll leave both of these guys alive and they'll do 20 to us. It's probably not acceptable. I think we just kill everybody.
Okay.
Oddly smooth stone, so we just get... we start Dexterity. Dexterity improves the value of block cards by 1. So now all our block cards do... Instead of like blocking for 8, they block for 9. And our Flame Barrier blocks for 13 instead of 12. Okay. So now, we have Body Slam, which deals damage equal to our block. We have Rampage, which does 8 damage, and then the next time we play it, it does 5. We have Ghostly Armor, which blocks for just 10, but it's ethereal. That means if we don't play it at the end of the turn, it's gone. And then we have another Armaments. I don't think we need another Armaments. I don't think it's a card that we're really looking at, since we have most of our cards upgraded and nothing that synergizes with it. Ghostly Armor, I think we got plenty of block. Rampage? Yeah, it's a good scaling card. Because it gets better over time. It's very useful against bosses. Since our deck is not that big at this point, it would be pretty decent. And Body Slam is also a pretty good choice here, because it deals damage equal to our block, and once we upgrade it, it will cost 0. So it doesn't cost anything once we upgrade it. And dealing, since we just got the Oddly Smooth Stone, it becomes more valuable. Also, just simply playing it will do a decent amount of single target damage. When we play like a Flame Barrier will give us 13 block because of our Oddly Smooth Stone, and then we play that, it'll do 13 points damage. So, it's pretty solid. Body Slam is not a bad choice, and neither is Rampage. Rampage will take longer, it'll scale, but it will, in time, do more damage than Body Slam. But, it's going to take rounds. We don't have... Rampage is really good when you have some way to bring it back into your hand. So if you have a card that lets you play a card that you've already played before, then Rampage becomes a whole lot better. We don't, though, so it's still good, but...
So maybe let's go with Body Slam?
Let's go with Body Slam. That sounds good. Just go to the next one. Okay, as you make your way through the large building, you come across a long, narrow bridge and spot knights on either side, facing one another. You approach. Halt. A knight forcefully gestures you to stop with its giant lance. Alright. Today is the day I must settle the score with the murderer of my beloved pet, Noodles. Until then, you may not pass. Fellow witness, why don't you bet on who you think will emerge victorious? So we have two options here. We can either bet 50 gold on the likely on the murderer, which is a 70% chance to give us 100 gold, or we can bet on the owner of Noodles for 50 gold and a 30% chance to get 250. Well, since we only have 80 gold, I usually like to take the 70% chance on this. I think we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll take the 70% chance if that's okay. I can't believe you're betting against Noodles. Clash, cling, pow. The owner died. You win the bet. Unsure what to think, you grab your winnings and leave. Okay. So now we're going to a rest site. And, well, we have the option to fill full and get another card, which we could still use another card, or we could smith. So we'll see. Not smithing would be decent, just simply to get another card. Smithing also would be good because we have some really good options for smithing. We have the Inflames, which would give us an extra point of strength. We had the Bloodletting, which we passed on before. Or even in one of the Flame Barriers to make sure it's 16 block. What did you think? Which one? Or our Body Slam to make sure it's 0 energy. So we have our Bloodletting, which gives us 2 energy. We have our Flame Barrier, which is 16 block. Our Inflame, which gives us an extra point of strength. This increases our maximum hit points by 4 if we happen to kill something. The Blood for Blood, when upgraded, just does 4 more damage and costs 1 less energy to play. The armaments we don't want to upgrade. It's usually better to not upgrade armaments, but if we did, it would upgrade all cards in your hand for the rest of the combat. It's not as useful to us because we already have a lot of upgraded cards. And we could also upgrade the uppercut. I think the only thing that we're really not looking at to upgrade would be just the flex and the armaments. Most of them are decent. I think the best choices when upgrading are probably things that double up, like Bloodletting doubles its usefulness. Body Slam just simply, it's just an energy upgrade. We only have 3 energy, so yes, it is useful. Doubling up the uppercut is also useful, because getting 2 weak instead of 1 weak is pretty helpful in terms of taking less damage.
Okay.
And against multi-attackers, Flame Barriers, just amazingly good. So, it's really... What's your thought here?
I keep looking at Bloodletting.
I think we should do Bloodletting because that 2 extra energy is just so handy. Since we only have 3.
Right.
So we have the option to go to an elite or just fight a regular fight. We still have 2 potions. Okay, so we have Kunai. When we play 3 attacks in a round, we gain a dexterity. It's a really good relic. So it's a good pickup there. Alright, so would you say we go for the elite? Think we're looking okay?
Sure.
Sure, let's do it. And it's Gremlin Leader. Gremlin Leader is really bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we got Whirlwind, so that'll help. It's bad news, but we got the Whirlwind, so we can play the Flame Barrier, and then we can play the Defend and fully block his attack. Not only that, he'll take all the damage from when we We could also just take the damage to the face, play the steroid potion, and do 65 points of damage.
And the 65 would be split between all three of them, right?
They'd all take 65.
Oh.
So he would be down to 80. The main thing is, do we want to go ahead and take that damage or not? I'm thinking we don't.
Okay.
I think we want to go ahead and just Flame Barrier here. And then hit him up for 24 points of damage. Then we'll take some damage, but we'll draw as well. Okay, so now... Alright. What are we going to draw here? Right. Could draw armaments, which will have limited use, but I think we'll go ahead and use Bloodletting. It just gave us another defense, so that didn't really help us much. So we can flex and play our Blood for Blood for 20. And we don't want to play Feed, so we'll just let that go. And these, the things that he brings out, see, these are the minions that it was mentioning.
Mm-hmm. So he gets new ones each turn?
If he has one or fewer minions, he has a certain percent chance to summon more minions. If he has minions already, he will possibly buff or attack. So what we can do now, we can Flame Barrier again. And we've got our Body Slam here. So, or we could try to use our potion to draw more cards.
You said Body Slam and Flame Barrier?
Flame Barrier will block for 13 and then deal damage. Each person will take damage. Will take 4 damage. We could also draw this. We could use a Swift Potion to draw this and 2 other cards and see what we get. Most of the cards here are unupgraded. Because if we play this, and then we Body Slam... Well, we don't have to Body Slam, because this is already doing 9. Oh yeah, we do. So, if we played this, we can Body Slam here, do 13, and then when he attacks us, he'll die to our blockade. We could instead use this, draw 3 cards, which will draw our armaments, which then we can make this 0, and then we can attack something for 18, and we'll block more, and we'll just straight up kill this guy before he can even swing on us.
Okay.
Let's try that. Probably want to use a potion here anyway. Ah, now we get Whirlwind, so now we can do this completely differently. So we can do 50 to everything. But then we'll still take damage here. We can block 9 and then still do enough damage. Let's see. He's doing 18. Mm-hmm. We can't kill him. He's not going to... We want to kill all of the minions, though. We especially don't want this guy to attack us and debuff us, because then we'll take even more damage. But we only have to do 23. So if we have 3 swings of the Whirlwind, then we're going to do 24, which will kill everything but him. But we want to try to get him low enough to where we can kill him off as well. So we can use 2 energy plus the Whirlwind to kill everything.
Okay.
So we can Flame Barrier, which will do 12 to him, and then we could armaments something, like maybe the Inflame and then use the Inflame. We could uppercut him to where he's taking more damage. He would take 13, and then it'll be weakened, and then he'll take, instead of taking 24, he'd take 36 from the Whirlwind. We could armaments the Body Slam and get some extra damage in from the Body Slam. And as well block some damage, and then play defend for 15, and have 15 block.
Okay. What did you say? Play with the Whirlwind to get the 36 damage?
We can play Uppercut. That'll make him do less damage. Like he'll do less damage and take more damage, and then we can Whirlwind him.
Okay.
Does that seem good?
Yeah.
Sure. So now he's only attacking us for 12 instead of 18, so we're going to take 12. Yeah, now he's down to 40. We're going to draw 3 cards here. Alright. So we can use Flex. We can bash him. Well, hold up. We'll bash him. What we're trying to do is get... We're going to try to eat him here. This won't quite do. I'm afraid that if we do this and then do this, it'll kill him. We can bloodletting and draw. That might be what we need to do. Trade 3 life for possibly... If we feed, it's fine, because we're trading 3 life and gaining 3 life, so we're not really... But if we whiff, we don't get anything. Or we have to wait another round. Or wait a whole... We pretty much pass our chance.
Mm-hmm.
Would you risk it? It's pretty much a 3 out of 4 shot. I think any one of those would do. I think so. Let's see, 14, and then this does 15. 22, and maybe a 50-50 shot. We want to strike is what we really want. Strike makes it effortless. We could also use a steroid potion and guarantee it if we need to. We probably don't want to burn the steroid pot though to do that. What do you think? It's possible also we could just leave him for another round and see if we could draw a feed. It's also a thing.
Do you think we're likely to do that?
It's very unlikely we'll do that.
Okay.
I shouldn't say very unlikely, it's 25% chance. Or 20% chance. We have a deck of 20 cards and we draw 5 of them, so no, it's a 1 in 20 chance because only one of those can be a feed. Unless we bloodlet, then it's 1 in 10.
Bloodletting?
Let's try it. Worked. So we can inflame. Strength 4, I believe. So let me try to do the math here. Bash. far anyway. Let's do it. Whetstone. So our blood for blood and our... And then we have these cards. I know which card is the best here, but I'm going to go through them. Havoc, we already kind of talked about that one, and it's not upgraded. True Grit gives you 7 block, but then exhaust a card at random in your hand. When upgraded, you choose a card. So upgraded True Grit is pretty good. Cleave Plus does 11 damage to all enemies. And then Battle Trance. You draw 3 cards, but then you can't draw additional cards this turn. So, which one would you lean toward?
Battle Trance, maybe?
Battle Trance is absolutely 100% the pick here. The Ironclad doesn't have a lot of ways to draw it, even though we have this runic cube. Battle Trance, 100%. Good choice. Alright. So... Alright. Well... This is just wonderful. Okay, so we already know what this guy does. We went through him, but we haven't fought this fungi beast here. What the fungi beast does is, when he dies, he gives you 2 vulnerable. Right now, we're getting attacked for 18 points of damage. Probably the thing to do here... The main thing is, who do we attack? We would probably almost certainly full block here. We can block for 13 and then block for 9, which is 27, which blocks everything. Then we can choose to either do damage to him with the body slam or do damage to the fungi beast.
But the fungi beast gives you, what'd you say?
Vulnerable for 2 turns.
When he dies.
When he dies.
So, when you kind of want to wait, kill him last? Or no?
Well, you either want to kill him last or get him out of the way. And I'm thinking maybe we just want to get him out of the way because this turn, we don't know what he's going to do next turn. He won't do the same thing. So right now he's attacking us twice for 6. It'll be more, but we'll defend it with the flame barrier. Flame barrier will take us. When we have 22 block, he's only going to do 50% more, so he'll attack us twice for 9, which is 18, so he won't hurt us this round. Next round, it just depends on what we draw. And if he attacks, he can attack us big, or he can try to heal himself. It'll be the 2 things he's going to do. I'm thinking we just go ahead and kill the fungi beast and get rid of it.
Okay.
And then slowly deal with this guy as we can.
Okay.
So, do that. And, oh, it didn't kill him. Well, it will kill him. So now, he's attacking us for 18. We have 18 block in our hand. So we're good. So we can bloodletting first to draw. And then we can battle trance. That's how we would play that.
Okay.
So... Alright. So now we can use the... We can play the battle trance without upgrading it with the armaments. If we use armaments, we get an extra card. Otherwise, we'll have a bigger selection of cards to use to upgrade. And we could, since we're drawing 3 cards, there's a 50-50 shot we can have something to upgrade instead. We always have flex to upgrade, even if we don't. We'll always have a target that will help us. But instead of flex, we could have something else. So would you draw the extra card, or see what you get?
Draw an extra card, I guess.
Okay. I think either one is a good choice. I probably would have saw what I got just to see, you know. So we'll just play 2 defends to full defend, and then we'll play this flex because it doesn't hurt us to play the flex. Cost of 0. Then we have the choice to uppercut it, which we'll do. We'll get rid of one of his plated armor. Flame and then strike. Well, it won't really matter. Our strike won't go through. But it will give us 2 more strength, so it'll help us for subsequent attacks. And we've got attacks coming up next. We probably won't be able to block next round. So really it's between uppercutting or increasing strength.
Uppercut.
Alright. Sounds good. Okay. I think we should move forward. This will do slightly more damage. Now he's going to heal 15. Okay. So now we don't have a choice here. There's no, you know, this is just a no-brainer move. We'll just play that. Got 10 damage incoming. We can either use the armament to upgrade the inflame or the uppercut. We got plenty of block. We probably want to use. If we play the armament, we only have to play one other block card. We've got a body slam, so we'll have decent incoming damage to him. Do we have lethal? No. Nope. So I think the main thing to think here is just which one would be better to upgrade, either the inflame or the uppercut.
When you upgrade inflame, it does what?
When you upgrade inflame, it does 3 strength instead of 2 strength.
And upgrading uppercut is
2 weak and 2 vulnerable instead.
I think let's upgrade.
So
I'd say to upgrade in flame.
Upgrade in flame? Okay. No, we want to play in flame. No. Well, yeah, we could. Play in flame?
Sure.
Body slam here. Okay, we have 2 flame barriers, which we can only play one of. We only need to play one. We have a flex. We'll go ahead and play the flex. Not hurt anything. I think this is a pretty self-explanatory turn. I'll just play flame barrier, full blocks, and just play strike. What we're doing here now is we're just trying to get toward we're trying to get our feet in our hand, so we'll probably draw it in the next couple turns. So we'll just drop a flame barrier, and we'll just play one strike because he's gonna do like 8 to himself. Well, he's fixing to hit us really hard. If we don't get... We could kill him. We have lethal. We can just kill him when we want. We can try to draw, defend, and we'll only block 18. I think we just unfortunately have to kill him at this point. Rather than feed on him. I don't think it's worth it. So, sorry. No feeding. Got a weakness potion. Okay. A bloodletting plus. Pommel Strike, which does 10 damage, draws 2 card. Sword Boomerang is actually a fairly good card. It does 3 damage and 3 to a random enemy 3 times. Why it's good is because it would do scale damage with strength. So as your strength improves, it will also improve. For 1 energy, that's pretty solid. And then our Perfected Strike looks like a big pass. It's an unupgraded card that does 6 damage and then does 2 damage for each strike card you have. We don't have many strikes in our deck. We have 3. So it would do 12 for 2 energy. It's not that great. So I guess it would be between these 3. And I think I would lean toward this one.
Okay.
Because it works with this. It gives us 2 energy. We only have 3. And we have Whirlwind, so sounds pretty good. Alright, we can go to a shop or we can take an event.
Let's just do an event.
Okay. Alright, special event. We can get Jaxxed, which means we get this card, Jax, which you lose 3 hit points, but you gain 2 strength. That might be good, because we have the runic cube, which lets us draw when we play it, and gives us 2 strength. Lets us scale. We can transform 2 cards. When you transform a card, you remove it from your... It's removed and then it's replaced with another card. I don't see that we need to remove too many cards. I would think that if we did, we would remove like armaments and flex, would be if we transform 2 cards, and then obtain a special relic. The relic is 3 strength at the beginning of the combat. Is the relic.
Okay.
I'm thinking this is probably a great option.
Alright.
We'll get those steroids. Okay. So now I think we want to go to we want to rest instead of fighting. So So now actually resting will give us 26 hit points. And let us draw a card. We could smith. And the main thing I think we would smith would be that or this. Think rest?
Yeah.
Kind of down. Alright. So we got Clothesline, which is 12 damage and 2 weak. We have Drop Kick, which does 5 damage, but if an enemy is vulnerable, you gain an energy and draw 1 card. Cleave, we've gone that, it just does 8 damage to all enemies, and Anger we don't want, but it's 6 damage, and then it puts another card in our deck. Another Anger. We can also skip if none of these cards are useful.
What about Clothesline?
Clothesline? It's pretty good with. It might be pretty good for extra weak because we have just the uppercut, and it gives 2 weak. 2 weak is so much more useful than 1. I think uppercut or clothesline would be a pretty decent choice here, especially against this enemy. Drop kick. What are we fighting? We're fighting the Collector. I'm not sure if this would be so good against. Maybe. This is kind of a maybe card. I'm not so sure how this works. Drop kick I think would be better because we have. We've at least got 2 ways to make vulnerable. Well, let's go with your clothesline. Let's take it as kind of an off the cuff pick. Oh man! So you remember these enemies, right? At the beginning of the game. Well, we're fighting 3 of them now. I wish we could feed. Let's see. This is gonna do 40 points of damage. I don't think we want to feed. I think we just get rid of this one. Oh, we can still feed. We can bloodlet. I'm sorry. We can bloodlet, then eat one of them. Okay. Alright. And then just throw some strength. Alright, now we kind of know, so we know what Blood for Blood does, we already got one. We got another Body Slam, pretty good. Headbutt, 12 damage, and then it puts a card from the discard pile on top of your draw pile. That's a pretty solid card, and then we have Evolve. Whenever you draw a status card, which a status card could be a wound, it could be slime, it could be daze, any of those cards, a burn, those are all status cards. And it would let you draw a card. It's a power, so. So what did you think? What would you pick here?
No, I'm kind of thinking headbutt.
Headbutt, I think would be a pretty good choice. The reason why is we could put any of our zero cost stuff like bloodletting, battle trance, Jaxxed, body slam, or if we missed our feed, we can get our feed back on top. So yeah, I think headbutt would be a great choice. I can be sold with that one. Okay, so now do we smith or do we heal? Heal to full.
Sure.
Sure. Get another card. Heal to full and get a card. So got Burning Pact. I think that's the only thing new that you haven't seen. Burning Pact lets you exhaust a card that's in your hand and then you draw 2 new cards. It's useful when getting rid of cards that are not relevant to the fight that you're in, or getting rid of status cards that you are. If someone jumped you up with a status card, you can get rid of it and draw new cards. Or we can always skip. We don't have to take anything. And I don't think the second armaments is a good idea, honestly. I think any of those 3 are probably okay. And skipping is also a fine choice.
I'm kind of thinking Burning Pact.
Burning Pact? Alright, let's do it. Gives us something to deal with statuses in Act 3. Okay, so he's not attacking us. So we got some choices. We could try to Burning Pact like a card we don't want. We could armaments a card. Get ready for later rounds. We could like armament either clothesline. We could armament inflame. We definitely want to play inflame, whether it be upgraded or not.
So then, why not just go ahead and upgrade it? You think? No?
Sure. Gets us off to the right start. And then we'll just pass. I don't think we want to Burning Pact anything necessarily right now. Great. This is a good hand. That is 50 damage to everybody. We could also bloodletting and do that much more damage and draw a card. I think we'll do that. That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So these strikes do more damage. I think what we want to do in this case is uppercut him. So he's going to take more damage. And then just kill everybody else. And we did like almost 100 points of damage. Alright. So we got some options here. Now we have headbutt. So we can headbutt a 0 drop like bloodletting. Or we can headbutt an armament target. I'm thinking headbutt an armament.
Okay. Sounds good.
Headbutt and bloodletting.
Okay.
So, headbutt. Bloodletting. Play bloodletting. Draw another bloodletting. Go ahead and play Jaxxed. Draw another card. Then, let's see what we get. Draw 3 cards. Okay, so strength is 7. We're looking at 0. Okay. Also, we have. So we can Jaxxed. Getting more strength. And that's what it means by scaling. You can see whenever we're playing a card and we're growing stronger, and every time we play that card, and as the combat goes on, we're steadily snowballing forward. And there's different kinds of scaling, but they're like mathematical terms, like logarithmic scaling versus just linear scaling. Anyhow, let's see. Just draw and see what we get. Okay, we can headbutt something for next round. Like probably that battle trance seems pretty good. Do we want uppercut first? Uppercut first? Yes?
Sure.
Headbutt the battle trance. Then play this for 46 with that. 13 with that. Because we have strength, we can just do just our strength damage without, even though it's attacking for 0. He's going to debuff us with all 3 debuffs. And attack us for 31. So, what we got now? Flame Barrier. Battle Trance, I guess, first. Okay. Well, we can't draw any more cards, so if we get rid of a card, we're just getting rid of it. Flame Barrier, I guess. We'll take 21. We're not really too worried about that. And this is going to do 60, so I don't think we're trying to eat this guy. We could try. This is Ascension 0, so after you beat a boss in Ascension 0, you fully heal. So I don't see why not. Okay, we didn't draw it anyway. Okay, so we'll just kill him. Take a punch. Alright, so choices. Juggernaut. Whenever you gain block, you deal 5 damage to a random enemy. Limit Break. Double your strength and then exhaust it. It upgrades to just double your strength without exhausting.
Okay.
Offering. Lose 6 hit points, gain 2 energy, and draw 3 cards, and then you exhaust it. And then Impervious, you just gain 30 block. And then exhaust. Impervious, so all of these are good cards. Like, no doubt about it. Like, I think of all 3 of them, probably Juggernaut at this point is probably the weakest. Because while we do have a lot of block cards, we don't have anything that continually gives us block. Limit Break just seems ridiculous, especially once it's upgraded, because our strength will just quickly get... When I talk about logarithmic scaling, that's what happens. That's logarithmic scaling. And an offering is almost always good. It gives you energy, you lose some health, but it's going to draw cards, but then it's going to draw 1 more card because of Runic Pyramid. So that's what makes that one so much better. And offering is always a pretty good card anyhow. And then Impervious is mainly good because we have Body Slam. The Impervious plus Body Slam means we're dealing 30 points of damage to something in 1 card, plus our strength, plus if it's vulnerable, it's just that much more.
Okay. Kind of like offering.
Kind of like offering. I think all of these choices would be okay. Let's go with the offering. Okay. So now we have relic choices. We can get the curse key, which gives us an energy, but when we open a non-boss chest, we gain a curse. You don't have to open chests, so you don't have to gain a curse. The Black Star, when you defeat an elite, you get an extra relic. And then the Philosopher's Stone. You gain an energy, but all enemies start the combat with 1 strength. This is kind of a no-brainer. It's the key. I mean, just to, I know, but if you didn't know, which one do you think you'd go with?
What was the description of the key?
The key is gain an energy at the start of your turn. Whenever you open a non-boss chest, obtain a curse.
Okay. And then that last one was what?
The Black Star's elites drop an extra relic when defeated, and the last one is the Philosopher's Stone. Gain an energy at the start of your turn. All enemies start the combat with 1 strength. Meaning they do an additional point of damage when they attack you.
Oh, they do an additional point?
Yes.
Oh.
They at least, if they have other things, they may do more damage, but in general, they just do 1 more damage. Everybody does. And they have multiple attacks, and they do 1 more damage with every attack they have. But you get an energy at the start of the turn.
Yeah, probably the key.
I think the key is one of the better energy relics. The only one that's any different would be the Soza, which just lets what that does is says you can't gain potions. So, okay, well that's Act 2, and we're done. we're gonna go ahead and stop here for tonight, and we'll go ahead and get back with you later. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a good rest of your day.